people treat cryptos. Like, oh no, this is the best crypto, even though it's not. And there's all this objective information saying as such. But because that person found that crypto and it's at zero, literally mad zeros, they think that one's the future. You know, like that was 2017 for a lot of people. They thought that their crypto was gonna be the one. 2016, 2017, that was the mode. Meme coins was the same flow. And we're still seeing that in a lot of ways within the crypto space because there's tons of thousands of coins coming out all the time. You know, whether they're scams or not relevant. But it's a battle for attention in a lot of ways. And how do you win this battle long term? It's not just by being around the longest, because Bitcoin is the winner in that aspect. Ethereum second place. So what do we need? We actually need what we monetize. So we're already winning. I think people are just hard pressed to understand that because of what's happening on a price chart. But time is what Hex monetizes. Pulse Chain is going to allow that to develop in a way that hasn't been possible because of the cost of just doing anything on Ethereum. You got to know how the banking system works to even understand that that's not even possible. And they're not even calling them non-custodial. They're not even, see, you know what you're talking about, but they don't. So it's understanding that nuance. That's what separates a person that knows what they're talking about from a person that doesn't. And this is why you always have to continue to learn. No entity can stop you from using MetaMask or any other non-custodial wallet. You know why? Because they would have to shut off the internet to do so. So you need to go learn how the internet works. That should not even be a question in 2022. It really should not.
But they want to force this on, I think, on exchanges.
How?
Like they have to.
Yeah, the exchange requires you to KYC you are not.
So what? Everybody's just not gonna trade anymore?
This is where we come in.
Right.
We need to be the force that's going to change that. We need to be the ones that open up new exchanges, that allow fiat on and off ramps, and do it specifically for Hex and for Pulse.
Yeah,
and then make it work in the EU as well.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff already in the works. Because one thing you can't do is that you can't close off the world any longer. It just doesn't matter what they do. It just doesn't matter. Anybody can open up a bank account anywhere, depending on where they live. So if you're lucky enough to not live in the US, you're good. Fact. Most cases, if you don't live in the US, the UK, all those Western countries, you're probably good. If you do live in one of those Western countries that want to make sure they gouge you for 100% of what they owe plus some, then you might have a problem. And that's where becoming an American becomes an issue, because you can't even open a trading account offshore. You would have to have an entity account with offshore personnel on that account. So,
unless you have a trust and you're the trustee of that trust.
Even in that case, it gets sketchy because it depends on where you reside. It's just not that straightforward. This is why I do what I do, because I know all of these rules. You got to know how to move money. That's what this is all about. This is how they catch people in these little boxes, because they think they have to do this or they think they have to do that, because they don't actually understand how the plumbing actually works. You know, Swift is just a messaging system. It's not even something that's electronic, right? It's not. It's just, hey, we're gonna bounce the books this way. Okay, cool, bye. That's Swift.
Yeah.
Done. You know, and people don't realize that. People think it's some electronic board or some nonsense, and it's not. So, you know, it's all these little moving parts you have to know in order to get crypto. And I mean, as of right now, because we don't have the technological ability yet to put it in the hands of people ready to use. And that's the only way to garner mass adoption in reality. It is not Super Bowl commercials. It is not being on Oprah. It is not being in people's faces all day. Because the reality is that if they don't understand, oh, macro's fucked. I need to put all my money in this because there's no other way. Like the slither of people that are in that bucket relative to the world population, not even measurable. We have to realize that. So until crypto is ready to use, it's not ready for mass adoption. It's
To
just
be
not
used, you mean?
Yeah, to be used. Like
Yeah.
ready to be used like instantly. Like when you open up your banking app, right? Your mobile banking app. Like that's where we ultimately need to go, where you can get online and just handle your business with crypto, and that the world is just intertwined to that degree where you can just connect. Because the reality is,
We're getting there though.
It's just
We're
a
getting there.
plug-in,
Like
right? Yeah,
imagine
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
2017, everybody was dreaming about the country buying Bitcoin. Everybody was dreaming about paying your taxes in Bitcoin. Everybody was dreaming about being paid your salary in Bitcoin.
Mhm.
Like don't even thinking about like if it makes sense right now and the costs associated with it, but everybody was going for that like dream world of, yeah, we want to get rid of the old system and we want onboard everybody into the new one. Like the things are happening, right? Things are changing. It's just change is usually always slow and it's hard because you're fighting against the old.
Yep.
And it's usually,
while it's
especially with technology, it's something that happens on a generation to generation basis, because the old generation doesn't
Want to change.
either understand or want to change,
Okay.
and you have this fight between the generations, right? Everybody nowadays who is growing up with crypto, who is growing up with the apps, with the phone, with the mobile phone in itself, where you can access the internet and have sovereignty over your money and what you buy, what you exchange in terms of information, what access on information you have to. That is new to the generations that are growing up right now, and they will be the ones that are more inclined to using crypto, and they are gonna be born as, oh, this is normal, like this is the way to go, and this is better than having to
Check this out.
go to a bank that that's not open on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, where you have to like talk to somebody for 3 hours until you get a bank account. You have to sign shit like.
So check this, right? As we know, just a website plugin for a connecting the wallet is nothing. It's just a little bit of script, right? We all know this. So what happens when all of these entities that realize that they have to acquiesce finally do and interject themselves into the plumbing of blockchain because they have no other way? That day is going to come, and we're seeing it in many ways. Now, what's interesting is that you're seeing the big corporations, quote unquote, acquiesce first, but we know what's really happening there because you're not really seeing real crypto in that vein, right? But when you have small businesses start accepting it, and then you see it spread into malls, that is when you start seeing some type of level of actual adoption, right?
So
No, I agree,
Wales,
but we
Wales,
still
are
need to be
we
out.
are we at the they fight you phase, or are we at the they laugh at you phase?
The fight.
On the
Laugh
beach.
is
So we're in the
first.
fight.
Yeah, laugh was already passed and over with. We're definitely fighting now.
Last was 2018, 2017.
Yeah, but I still believe we
Yeah,
need to be
That's
out there
that's when we get the media
beating that
attention.
drum, because the adoption doesn't fall out the sky.
No, but that's the thing. It's not. It doesn't stop. Everybody does it. I never stop. Everybody does it. And I think that the confusion lies in people thinking that you're gonna see the result right away.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And you're
That'll
not.
take
You know, you're not. And that's what Richard was trying to explain to people when he got on the Twitter spaces, and he was like upset because people were not expecting it to not be immediate. That's why he was upset. Because people's expectations were not in the right place. Clearly that worked. You know, it worked because more people know about Hex, and you can see it in the data. So it's not that it didn't work, it just didn't work how people thought it was going to. And this is important to understand because this is how we're able to move forward as a community with future marketing campaigns, because I'm not saying we shouldn't do them. I'm saying we should understand the implication behind doing them and understand that there's not going to be an automatic effect of the price goes to $10. Because guess what? People have to learn what cryptocurrency is first and foremost before they can even get to Hex. Like, we're at the cutting edge. At the cutting edge. We're not at Coinbase. very important distinction that we have to come to terms with, and it's gonna affect the price action, because the only way people get in here is by being brought in directly, right, by somebody in here, or somebody within crypto finds it, or somebody gets lucky, right? Like, it's very few avenues of finding Hex. It's very few. So I think it's important to remember that, because that makes it even much more difficult.